As the title states, I personally believe hunters could use a few buffs, not to make them the best class, but to make them stand on a little bit more even footing with the other classes in terms of group play. I also feel like I should say that all the opinions in this video are formed from the gameplay of the beta. It's entirely possible that all the stuff that I talked about could be not an issue, because they have already fixed it. We don't know. I need to preface this video and argument with that fact. For thematic reasons, hunters are a little bit selfish in how they interact with other guardians. They usually go off on their own, and they are trying to be as self-serving as possible. The lore makes this very, very clear. The talents of the Arcstrider absolutely reflect this. Basically, all of them are there to allow you to keep killing things, with the only possible group utility being in the locked talent block. Disorienting Blow can disorient enemies, and nearby ones when you melee them, which can provide some crowd control in a pinch. But aside from that, there isn't much group play that can be found in Arcstrider. Gunslingers, fortunately, do have some group utility baked into both of their specs, with Chains of Woe in the way of the Outlaw tree, providing a reload speed buff to your team, and Crowd Pleaser in the bottom skill block, which enables precision hits with your super to generate orbs of light. Right now, a hunter's utility is very much built on how effective they can be at killing things, which is significantly different from the other classes, which basically have a flagpole that they can put in the ground saying, "Come here, heal, or take cover, look how useful I am to my group with my ability." A hunter's effect on their group will most likely go unnoticed, which I suppose is again thematically correct for a hunter, but at the same time this is a video game. Thematically correct doesn't mean it makes for overall effective gameplay. For the purposes purely gameplay related, I feel like hunters need to have some group utility baked into their class ability, especially since there appears to be no effective group play in the Arcstrider subclass, aside from a single crowd control melee ability. Titans currently have a barrier that can block off areas and be used for cover, or one that can be used for a small bit of cover and increase your damage by reloading your weapons instantly when you crouch down behind it. Warlocks have a rift that can be used to heal and gain an overshield, or to massively increase your damage output. Since both of these are stationary, they work very well together. A Titan can drop a smaller barricade and lay down fire, while a Warlock drops an empowering rift to increase damage for anyone using said cover. Hunters, they can dodge and reload once. Anyone using the Titan's shorter barricade can also crouch and instantly reload their weapons. Multiple times, almost infinitely, one would say. So what role could the hunter class ability fill that already isn't being done? Well, in the traditional RPG sense, we already have healing taken care of by the Warlock Rift, and tanking taken care of by the Titan Barricade. In addition, both of those subclasses have multi-purpose talents that can focus on DPS output. Since hunters are more damage-dealing oriented, both of their abilities could modify how their teammates can do damage, or maybe making their damage more effective. Something along those lines. Simple things would be like providing a reload aura if you use marksman dodge, or providing a buff to everyone's melee and grenade cooldowns when you use gambler's dodge. I know Gunslinger already has the reload aura covered, so maybe it could give you a charge or two of Chains of Woe. This will allow a hunter to keep the buff going in PvE if there wasn't an ad to kill, or they were working on killing a particularly beefy mob and they knew that buff was about to fall off. I'm just going to slip in this suggestion as well, but maybe the hunter's class ability should be on a slightly lower cooldown, like 15 seconds base cooldown, especially since the Dawnblade Warlock gets a Twilight Garrison dodge on a 10-second cooldown in addition to their class ability. Just throwing that one out there. So far, this has been entirely about PvE, but I feel there is some valid discussion to be had about PvP as well. The class dodge ability is, well, it's kind of lackluster in PvP. In addition to the long cooldown, the dodge animation doesn't actually keep you from taking damage. Not that it should stop all damage though. The problem with Shadestep in Destiny 1 is that it took off all aim assist and was on a very short cooldown, so people would just miss you 99% of the time when you were flopping around. The frustrating thing from fighting that came from the netcode. The Shadestepping hunter could start shooting back at you before you could effectively target them due to said aim assist not registering. The dodge in Destiny 2 still very much has all of the aim assist on it, so people can hit you easily before during and after the dodge. That makes it very frustrating to use the dodge since you use it as a reactionary ability and end up just not being able to fight back while the animation is going on. I think a good happy medium here would be just to have the hunter take reduced damage while dodging. It could help out in PvE, but more importantly in PvP, you wouldn't just immediately die inside the animation. You could have had more of a chance to get behind cover. We don't know what the lightning reflexes talent does in the Arcstrider subclass. The phrase harder to kill could mean a lot of different things. It could be taking less damage, but it could also be the removal of all aim assist. We don't know until we get to try it in the full game. Again, on an ending note, I feel that I should say that all of these opinions are formed from the gameplay of the beta. It's entirely possible that some of the criticisms I had, like ability cooldown time, are just not an issue in the full game. We know there's armor mods in the game that can affect class ability cooldown times since we saw them in the reveal event build. Anyway, let me know what you think about the Hunter class down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.